Every once in a while, you come across a book that reads so well that you can finish it in one sitting. And those are oftentimes the kinds of books that adapt to film almost spot on. I can think of five. First one is, and I'll have to break rule number one to talk about it in this episode, it's Fight Club. And this book is kind of short. It's only 216 pages long because it doesn't really spend any time going into extraneous detail with dialogue and narration. It just goes right to it. You know, the protagonist with his fascination with support groups, and then he having insomnia, meeting Tyler Durden in Fight Club and Project Mayhem. Everything's there that's in the movie. And the only difference is the end. It ends with the protagonist's suicide, not with him standing hand in hand with his girlfriend watching buildings burn and fall. The next one is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's also, for a mystery, flows very well and is easy to read and follow, and was equally easy to, catch on to in the movie. Everything's pretty much the same, except for the warning delivered to Mikhail Blomkvist with the cat was watered down quite a bit. No need to say how much. It's just watered down. Next one is Memoirs of a Geisha. With the exception of a couple details left out that would have been distracting, such as Sayuri's early days with her home and her family, and when her mom died and her father had to, move her and her sister out because he couldn't take care of them anymore because he was dying too. And then when she actually did see her sister again, it was in a brothel because they didn't think she was geisha material. Other than that, and one minor character switch at the very end, it's a spot-on match, and the movie and the book are equally as magical and enchanting and very enjoyable. The final two are pretty much the same story. One real, one fiction, but based on real. We'll start with the real one. That is An American Crime. It's based on the court trial of Gertrude Benishevsky for the murder of Sylvia Likens. The torture and murder, I should say. And it reads, and the movie follows, kind of based on the court transcript. The difference being how much the cruelty inflicted on Sylvia Likens is watered down based on the youth of the actress who played her. What really happened was, when things really went from bad to worse with this whole coup against Sylvia, she was never allowed the dignity of her clothes. And at the same time, I think either Gertrude or her daughter Paula had a baby, and they would take the baby's loaded diapers and shove them in Sylvia's face. So there was, a lot of cruelty that would have, if it were kept in the movie, might have turned it into an NC-17 video nasty. But they watered it down just enough to keep it R rating, and of course we get it. She died from the torture, and there was no real rhyme to reason to it. The last one is the fiction that's based off of An American Crime. It's called The Girl Next Door, and it is told from the point of view of, one of the witnesses who was at the present time a middle-aged man who seemed to be filled with regret and guilt because as a boy he didn't do anything wrong. He respected his elders but caught himself in the company of an elder who was so not respectable. He was caught up in the false safety yet threat of safety in numbers with this mob mentality when the group turned on, Meg, the girl who found herself in bad trouble for no rhyme or reason. She just didn't want to let her little disabled sister get beat on, so she, you know, toughed it out and was subject to similar cruelties to Sylvia Likens. And a lot of them, there was no watering down in The Girl Next Door. There was some stuff left out, just some minor cruelties, but everything else is spot on. Very disturbing. And at the very end of it all, American Crime and Girl Next Door are cautionary tales. The cautionary tales are don't fall for safety in numbers. Mob mentality is a dangerous undercurrent. There's a lot of people these days spending their lives in prison because they did something they would have otherwise not even dreamed of doing had they not been in a group. The other cautionary tale is, we teach our kids to respect their elders, we always have. But what do we tell them if they are in the company of an elder who's not respectable? It's a lot of things to think on. And that pretty much covers the matching books and movies. Thank you for watching. See you next time.